Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us again on this new episode of Impact Pod. We have some strong women with biblical names in the house today. I have right here with me Debbie, and on the other side is Rachel. And when we get into the program, you see why I call them strong women. I hope you enjoyed today's show and get along with us. Alan, you guys are sisters, right?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, okay. So who's the oldest?
I am.
Oh, okay. I'll go with the oldest. They say. So who is Rachel?
Well, Rachel is a lot of personality in one person, I would say. First, I have to first acknowledge my father, right? So I am the first daughter of Mr. Bola, popularly known as Bolarinwa Adewi. So I am a mother of two beautiful boys. I am a nurse. I am also a church goer and also a very dedicated Christian. I'm a singer. Wow, now that I think about it, I have a lot of roles and duties.
All right. You freestyle before we leave today.
And I love to dance. I love to meet people. I love to interact, and I love to learn new things. I like to challenge myself within a controlled setting, though. Yeah.
All right. How about you, Debbie?
Well, I'm Debbie. I'm a lot of things too. Like my sister, we're actually very, very different. But I like to say I can be wherever I want to be, when I want to be, when I feel like.
Chameleon.
Yes, that's the word.
Right.
But I'm also a nurse.
Okay.
I'm in school right now. So she's in school and just living a life. I'm not married yet, so I'm still finding my path in life. But taking it I'm just chilling. Let's just live it like that. I'm just
Going
chilling.
with the flow.
Going with
Okay.
the flow, yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Okay.
All right, so this is beautiful. I picked one. You said single, right? Exactly right. You said single, right?
I'm not single.
Oh, okay.
No, you're
I'm not married,
It's,
but I'm not
it's
single.
recorded. It's recorded.
Exactly. So-
You
Then
can't
I'm
go
not
back.
married.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to because there's so many people out there watching this podcast, so they want to.
Yeah.
Are you trying to match-make now? Are we dropping the number on the screen?
Well, maybe not.
There's no number.
All right, like you said, wonderful women, and guess what? I'm sitting down, amidst of
Lucky.
lucky man. So my question is, why nurse? That's my first question. Why nurse?
You want to go first?
That's very interesting. If you asked me this question, let me say 15 years ago, I'll probably tell you, no, I don't want to be a nurse. Oh, I want to go to medical school, and which was the dream. But now it's a different dream, kind of maybe almost the same, a little bit the same path, but different dream. I come from a family line of nurses. My dad is a nurse. My mom is a nurse.
Okay.
We're both nurses. Interestingly enough, I have a little brother, and he doesn't want to be a nurse.
He wants to do something
know-
different.
My mom, our mom,
Exactly.
she actually tried to make him do nursing.
Oh.
Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah.
And then I'm like, please no, like do something else.
It's funny because when I was in college, I was a biochemistry major, and at the time I was at DePaul University, and I would tell my friend, my very good friend, who was still talking to today, I would say, no, I mean, she knows, I'm not doing nursing, no, whatever it takes, because I've met a lot of people that are into nursing. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just I was just like, I was gonna go to medical school. So along the line, call it. I was determined. I'm still determined, but I think it's more of I wasn't confident in myself. I had the GPA. I mean, I would talk to people, and I felt like going to a school where there wasn't a lot of people that looked like me. And then not only was I I'm part of the minority, I was also an African too. So there was not a lot of support at the university. So I felt, would I be able to do this? I would talk to people that are in groups, and they would say, hey, you have to be really versatile. You have to have 4.0 GPA. And then at the time I was at a 3.6. So I was just like, I'm not going to be able to do this. I have to write the MCAT.
Something.
It's,
3.6.
it is. But, so then I told myself, I said, you know what, maybe I should just, there's a difference between being loving something, right? Genuinely, and being very good at it, you know? And of course, biochem was kicking my butt. So I was just like, maybe I should just change before it's too late. I'm in my sophomore year, my second year. Let me change. What can I do? I would tell you, the most difficult decision of my life. I was 19, and I said, I'm going to write the list. I want to be in the healthcare field, but I want to write a list of things that I want to do. And I wrote pharmacy. I was like, nope, I don't want to deal with structures and meds and drugs. And then eventually, nursing. I was, when the spirits tell you write nursing, you don't write nursing. I didn't write nursing.
You didn't want to cave in.
I don't want to do nursing because I see my parents work day and night and they pull double, triple shifts. And I was like, my mom will come in. Sometimes she's like exhausted. I'm like, do I want to? This is the way the job is. I don't want to do this,
The money, what about the money?
The money. I don't think I had a very good knowledge about the money yet.
Okay.
But then I spoke to a lot of people, counselors, and everyone was like, there's nothing bad in nursing. My boyfriend at the time, well, it was my husband now, was like, I think you should think about it, And then I looked into it and I started. Come to think of it, I had to take it set me back 1 year, but I had to take a couple of classes and like an entrance exam. And I aced them, and I realized I enjoyed the content. It was enjoyable while reading it. I would pick up my book and I would understand the structures of the body. I would understand how it works, the pathophysiology of how, like the mechanism of things work in our body. And I was like, okay, I enjoy doing this. On the other hand, biochem, I was doing well at it, but I would force myself to read. It was just like, I felt like I was just wanting to do it. I don't know what the driving force was. I don't know where.
You wanted to do something different from probably what the family was doing. So,
I wanted to do something different, So that's how I got into nursing. And I ended up, I'm into nursing now. This is my 9th year.
Oh, okay.
So it's been great so far, and I love it all. And of course comes the money with it. It's really good.
Oh, that's good. That's
all right. So this podcast is accepting donations.
What about you? Why not?
To be honest, I feel like I kind of got conditioned into doing nursing.
Family business.
Family business.
Like you said, our parents were nurses, and she went for nursing eventually. But I just never thought about doing anything else. I just went straight for nursing. And I went to UIC nursing school, and I didn't have any doubt. I feel like the only thing that I thought about was like, I just hope I like it.
Okay.
Just because I could not imagine a life where like I wake up and I hate what I do every day. That's the biggest one. But I do like it. I've been a nurse for about 6 years now.
Oh, okay.
And yes, honestly, I don't have any like major story in mind. I just went straight for nursing. And I actually do like it. So yeah, that's my story.
That's good.
So you're all from a family of nurses, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Well, to say the truth, you guys don't look like you've been in the nursing for 9 years, for 6 years. That's the truth. I mean, because I've seen some nurses, because of the stress they go through, tend to grow older than their age. But with you ladies, no.
I feel like that's also kind of like, I don't want to say generally a generational thing, but I feel like...
sorry, where are you from in Nigeria?
Voila.
What state?
But I was born in Lagos. My family, they're from Ijebu.
Oh, okay.
So
Yes.
What part of Ijebu?
Okonwa.
Okonwa.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our mom is from Ijebu, Odogbolu.
Odogbolu, okay.
And then our dad is Okonwa.
Okay, so Ijebu
what she
times
said.
2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ijebu squared.
Ijebu squared.
Okay.
From Max.
So don't expect any donation from.
Oh, when I said Ijebu square, I already knew that.
That is a lie.
I don't know if I want to answer that.
Oh, okay. Go on. You were saying something.
But to finish, like I said, I feel like the generation before us, they had this big thing where like, oh my fashe, like they like to work.
Yeah.
And I also understand because they had to, because so much responsibilities. I mean, I feel like we had it easy. I came here when I was 10. She was 14. So it was easy. I mean, the only thing that I had to do was kind of assimilate into the American culture and just, go through that phase where I'm like, okay, the Nigerian culture was still instilled in me. And come to think about it, I've been here for a little half over my life. So it's like most of my life has been here, but I'm still Nigerian. I still identify as a Nigerian. And it's different for us because it was easier for us. For them, it wasn't. They had to work their asses off. So I understand. So when you say they look older, that's why. We have soft life a little
They have to look for the American. They have to look for the American dream that you're living right now.
To be honest.
Yeah, I know. I know.
No, in other words, you just say your mom and dad already paid for it.
They paid the dues.
And we are so grateful if you are watching this. Thank you.
Yes.
They definitely have.
Mom, dad.
Thank you.
If they have to call us.
Thank you.
If they have to call us to watch, they have to work. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you guys, you both still in school, you said, right? So what's the dream? What's the height you're looking at? What do you want to achieve professionally in the nursing field?
So I have a couple of things and ideas that I've planned or kind of laid down for myself. So right now we're both in the same program. So it's the Doctorate of Nursing Practice, which is specifically the specialty is mental health, so psychiatry. So we're thinking more of working. Of course, this is going to be you're going into work, helping patients, seeing patients that are mentally ill. And alongside with that, we aspire to also want to broaden our scope a little bit. So my father is one of the teachers that he teaches certified nursing assistants, so CNAs. Mm-hmm. So and he's always pushed us to do more, right? I sometimes will help him to teach, which I do that on the side as well. So eventually to follow that route and do something bigger with it. We haven't thought through it yet, but have that on the side, maybe a personal business.
You've counted like 4 sources of income now. I'm already like, I need calculator.
Yeah, so that, and then I think with Debbie, we talked about telehealth, right? Telehealth nursing.
That is the way.
That's the way. Yeah.
So if you want to do something hand in hand, we can do telehealth where you still see patients. You're taking care of these patients. You can see them remotely, and then from there you can also run aside doing your teaching job. And if you want, nursing is just so flexible. Here they'll tell you contract nursing or agency nursing, or work 13 weeks, work 8 weeks for a certain amount of pay. You can just pick those ones up as needed.
And just add it to the
right. So far, at least as far as I'm concerned, that's where I'm heading right now.
Okay.
Just to piggyback off what she said, I feel like our plans are pretty much similar. Okay. I just know I want something that would give me a flexible lifestyle. You cannot get rich by clocking in and clocking out. Right. I feel like as long as you have that understanding and think business, that's the goal. But we're getting professional degrees, doctorate degrees. You can do so much with it. And the sky is not our limit. So
it's
that's
the starting
my
point.
mindset moving forward.
It is beautiful. And
but people get rich clocking in and clocking out.
You think so?
On Wall Street.
I'm like,
on Wall Street.
Okay, I want to say something about that too. When you say that, clocking in and clocking out. For the fact that as a nurse, you can actually think of business, which is good. I want to say something.
Have you forgotten that from Ijebu?
Exactly. Money on my mind. Okay. So I love you guys for you're very aspiring. You keep pushing. You did not limit your knowledge to one particular. Okay, I'm making money now. Let me just stop. Going to doctorate. This is okay. This is lovely. I love it. Even though the world know that Nigerians, we are goal-getters. We always get there. So I want to say something. I want to say thank you for doing all these things. You are a role model. Don't forget. To all this, everybody. And guess what? Knowledge is not, it's not about age. There are so many people watching you now and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to continue my,
Yeah.
So I want to say something. This will bring me a question. The question is for both of you. There's a rumor. I don't know if you've heard about it. There's a rumor about nurses that you guys are so arrogant. It's a rumor. Like nurses are so arrogant. And before I'm gonna say to you, now I did my research and I said, wait a minute, nurses are
Where did
so
you do
arrogant.
your
Yeah,
I was waiting for it to land.
I asked people.
Well, I can say
have
I
a
did
nurse
some
as a
research.
sister.
You have a sister?
Yeah,
A nurse?
is a nurse
Is
exactly?
she arrogant?
Yeah, she's not. That's why. Hold on. So those exactly. So
I mean,
right.
Never say nice
and
things about each
she's
other.
married.
Right.
Okay, we keep so. But we're not talking about a
Naira,
single nurse.
It's like I know you're talking about that. She doesn't look to me. Maybe with you, you're a brother to her.
That's
Right.
what I
You
just
can be
said.
very annoyed sometimes. So
Exactly. Maybe so. Right. Thank you so much.
arrogance
It could be something.
is subjective.
Right.
Hey,
To
well,
me,
this is
I would
not-
step-
well,
to
you
me.
might not see that.
No, it's
Exactly.
subjective. It depends on how you
It depends
feel.
exactly. To me, she's a sweet, loving, But I mean, commonly, like I said, I'm in a research. I have somebody who is actually going through that right now. It's a rumor, like I said. I just want you guys to tell us. Is it true or it's not? That okay, fine, because nurses, okay, they're making money. Okay, let me just break it down. People say the rumor is like a man will see a lady through all her what's it called education, the nursing career and everything. Then when you are now I'm making money. Then you don't listen.
Oh, so
you
you're
don't
bringing
listen.
it back there.
You
Okay.
don't listen to your man
That's
no more.
a different conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Totally, but I'll get
So,
there.
We're going to
Okay.
talk about it.
All right. So I mean, what do you think about that rumor?
Well, I can't speak on behalf of all nurses in the universe. But when you groom up yourself to a certain extent, there's just the way you carry yourself. That's just fact. You can, if Bill Gates walks in here, there's a way you carry yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll say like an
and
aura.
exactly.
Around.
There's
Is
an
that the
aura
excuse?
No. I'm getting there.
Okay.
So, but like the way I'm not responsible for how others how they see me.
Okay.
And I feel like people can see you how they want to see you based on their own insecurity. That's not my responsibility.
I get it.
So you can know me personally and be like, oh, Debbie is great. She's a sweet girl or whatever. And then someone can see me and just not like me for whatever reason it is. Maybe that's your own insecurity or you just don't like my person, which is okay. So people have different perspective, like you said. So as long as I know I'm not arrogant. If you think I'm arrogant, that's your problem.
That's how you. Okay.
That's it. That's my take on it.
What about Rachel?
What about you?
I think it's scenario by scenario. I feel like it's very personal. The rumor that nurses are arrogant because of money, is that what we're saying, right?
Exactly.
Because of the
Because
money that they're
Right.
making. I think that anyone that you've heard their story before, I feel like we always hear that one part of the story, but it's bigger than that. I don't want to say that it's just because now you're a nurse, you have money, now you're arrogant. There's always a backup story to every person that has gone through that kind of phase before. I feel that money itself comes with this aura, comes with this feeling of, think about it. If you have only $5 in your account, how would you feel? You think about the things that you want to do in life with money. You want to go
And compare with when you have.
and then if you have
I have like 5 million.
5 million in your
Confidence.
account, there's that confidence, there's
Yeah.
that security net that you have that I'm not gonna lack at least the next couple of days or the next
don't
couple
get
of months, right?
And not to cut you off, because of that confidence is why some people will interpret it as arrogance.
Yeah,
when it's
could
not.
be.
Yeah.
But I also feel that it shouldn't, because you have money, it shouldn't take away your respect to somebody else. It shouldn't take away understanding other people's feelings and also validating their feelings. So if you have a husband, if you have a wife, and the wife is richer than the husband, and the wife is arrogant because of the money that you can have today and you may not have tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're setting yourself down for failure.
Not everybody has that perspective.
No,
I'll click on it. There was this thing my dad posted, I think, like 2 days ago.
I saw it.
It was like, there was a man, he had a lot of rats in his house, and then one of the rats swallowed the diamond. And then he had to call an exterminator to come, and there were like over 300 rats.
Ooh,
But
you
then
don't
there
know which
was
one.
then there was a rat sitting at the corner,
It's
and then the exterminator just killed that one, opened it up, and there was the diamond. Like, how did you know? Is that when fools get rich, they don't want to mix with other people.
Right.
Yeah, well, it brings,
Yeah. So-
it brings me to a point. Like I said earlier, being arrogant is so subjective. I don't really like to say it because
Yeah.
people who are not nurses, they are arrogant.
Arrogant.
Yeah.
That's just it. People who are even begging, when they make more money on the road, while
The
begging.
worst.
They will
They don't
still
like
want
to
those.
say-
Well, yeah, I've
don't
given a
wanna
guy
mix with
some coins before, and he threw it on my
Yeah, but
windshield.
for
Like,
me,
what are you giving me?
I mean,
Yeah, that's
because,
it.
yeah.
because he knows you have the money.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
is it then really the money then?
No, it's not.
That's why I
know.
said it's the
subjective.
perspective.
Okay,
Not that.
okay.
That's
let me
generalizing.
chip a little something in. I work with a lot of EHR companies as a consultant. I'll put it this way. I would say what I have noticed is I wouldn't say money per se, but I think there's a loggerhead between nurses, physicians, and techs. It's something I've noticed. At least I've been doing this for like 6 years. So it's a trend I've noticed. Doctors want something done in a certain way. Nurses feel like, oh God, you cannot control me. You are a doctor. I know my job. And then the techs feel subjected to like, oh, because you think a nurse, you can bust me around. Oh, and the nurse like, oh, you have to do this, you have to clean this. Blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of like, I don't know, is it
Well,
like a
Mayor, can I
power tussle
No,
thing?
before they say anything, for me, I'm going to disagree. I believe that is how the world is created. Even in the home, there's this battle for supremacy between the kids. Even they are ladies, right?
No.
They would not want to tell us why they were growing up. There's this kind of, I'm going to get it better. Even everywhere you go, there's this battle for supremacy.
But why it baffles me a little bit is
Okay,
a
look
lot
at
of
it.
times there's life on the line.
Okay, look at it in Nigeria. People who carry files, because you disrespect them, they'll be like, okay, don't worry.
They hold
Go
your
and hide
fight.
files. Somebody's
But the
Professionalism out the window.
out the window. But why it gets to me is because we're talking about health here. We're talking about people's lives on the line.
Yeah.
And I've seen it a lot of times. Like I would be trying to teach a physician, like, oh, this is how you put in the orders. This is like, no, show it to the nurse. I'm like, bro, it's your job to put in the orders. It's the nurse's job to administer the medications or whatever. Right. Everybody has their own field, but everybody's trying to like, you know what?
it's just-
I know about this. I'm not gonna do this. So it kind of like, I've gotten caught in the crossfire a couple of times. Like, oh, do this. I'm like, bro, I'm only here to teach you guys. Anything other than that, yeah, I'm harder here. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it like a power tussle thing, or it's just?
I mean, I feel like it depends because sometimes when people get stuck in their ways, it's hard to tell them otherwise. Like if you're working with a physician who has done this for like 20, 30 years and he has a specific ways of doing things and you are working with a Gen Z nurse, you're going to clash.
Is that a thing? Jersey nurse?
Gen Z nurses.
Gen Z nurse. Oh, okay.
Gen Z
I
nurse,
guess.
the younger
younger generation.
That's essentially what I'm
Right.
trying to say. The younger generation, you're going to clash just because not that they don't both want the best for the
Excuse me, Debbie.
patient.
There's a generational gap.
I want to ask you a question on what you just said. How do you see it? The old nurses, you as a young nurse,
Yeah.
with all due respect, do you prefer to work with a Gen Z nurse like you, or you prefer to work with a Methuselah nurse? Which
Please,
one do
The
you-
vibe has to be there.
Actually, I correct myself. I want both.
Yeah.
Just because you need variety of experience for patient safety. I would want to work with a nurse who is experienced so I can learn from them. And I also want to work with a nurse who is around my age, just
So you can
relatability. Just to be able to
Free and ask
relate
questions,
and,
stuff
have a nice, coherent work environment. So I want both because people are smart, like especially people who've been doing this for years. There's a lot to learn from them, and you don't want to just walk on your head like you know everything. You do not.
But sometimes they are the one that add us to change, especially when I'm talking from my own
Yes,
experience.
you're right.
When there's a change in the system.
Yes.
I had this physician I worked with, and we'll still literally write everything down. I'm like, bro,
Like, bro.
there's notes in the system.
They're
Create your
stuck
smart
in
things,
that.
create all this. It will still
know.
take a pen. I had to do a lot of overtime because that man would still file everything.
Yeah.
And the office is like, like a hoarder.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my God.
okay, so yeah, I get what you're saying.
Patience.
And patience.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're still the sweetest to teach because
Right.
they'll tell me, you know what, just tell me what to do.
Exactly.
Tell me out. Take
Now
control of
follow.
that. Gen Z's some other time I'm like, bro,
Their
don't
blood is
click,
hot.
don't click there. I've not told you to click there. Yeah, that's not the next
like
thing.
that's
But
something
they
in your
go. They just go.
Gen Z
Yeah.
are always
And it's a
they're
bad
always
thing
on the
because
go.
you can make errors
Yeah.
because of
Right.
that, because you think you know everything.
Everything, yeah.
I've had my fair share. So that's why I'm like, I've learned to calm down, and I've learned that from older nurses because it's great to have them as a benchmark because, you know, you can learn from
Most
them.
of them are meticulous in their ways.
Yeah, and they don't, that's the only con about it. They don't like to change. They want to do things. It's their way or the highway.
Yeah.
But to be honest, that's how it is in the world, in the real world. You just have to know how to work with people and make sure you're being patient and just work together.
that brings me to my next
Yeah.
question. Now I want to go personal. I don't want you to please don't step out of this. No, it's not about you. It's just about the nursing profession as a whole. Is it true that nurses are flirt?
Oh, what?
Or what?
Flirt.
Flirt?
Yeah.
I haven't.
I don't think
experienced
okay.
that.
What?
Just because
This
actually
question
my
is get
own,
comma.
I work in OB.
Oh, we also
So
work with women.
I just
and
work
kids.
with women. I don't even see guys.
Well,
When I see a man, I'm like,
But you work with
what?
men.
Okay,
But
what
I
about
work
the
with
male doctors and
barely.
male
Very
nurses?
few of them are in OB. So
OB,
it's
yeah, I know,
mostly
yeah.
all
So
like
if-
ladies.
A male doctor just walking, you'd be like,
No, I think we do that sometimes. Like it depends. I've seen, so at one point when I was working at University of Chicago, and there was this really young doctor. He's in residency, but I mean, it was good looking, you know. And every time he comes, all the girls, all the ladies are like, that doctor is coming. I'm like, me too. I want to see this doctor. I'm like, it's cute, so it's true. I mean, we just appreciate
When he removes the
the
mask.
look.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
cute.
No, when he removed the mask, it's cute. So
That's
nice
what people
hair,
are
nice
like.
hairline, you know. But I don't think I've really had an experience with somebody flirting, you know, with another person. They usually try to make sure that we do this. That's why we have this. I just can't remember the word, like the education.
Workplace.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
workplace. About like harassment or sexual harassment and things like that, because you want to have boundaries. You know, you don't want to feel uncomfortable because you're working. You don't want to come to work because somebody else is someone makes you feel uncomfortable right
Uncomfortable,
there. So, but we appreciate when we see nice young doctors, you know, and even some of the older ones, they be looking cute. Same thing, the other way
The other
around.
way around,
We
yeah.
have the young men that are like, oh,
Nana,
this woman
please,
is nice.
Please, I have a follow-up question.
Follow-up question. Okay, go ahead.
Maybe I should rephrase my question. I don't want to sound so somehow. From where we all come from, Nigeria. Yeah.
Yeah.
We know what we learn about nurses there, even when we don't even
yeah,
have
yeah,
a personalized. No, hold on.
I want some quiet dress. I know.
No. Even though we don't have personal experience with them, but what we used to say, hey, nurse, they do this. Is it true that nurse cheats?
She's
On the spouse. On the spouse.
Because the general believe that nurses and
yeah.
it's what we all hear, but I don't believe it.
Both ways.
Well, yeah, they
Even
say
if a
nurses
man nurse
cheat with
or a female
doctors,
nurse.
doctor cheat with nurses.
Right. Oh,
There-
There's a lot going on in the health system.
There's
Like behind
drama.
closed doors.
Are you asking,
Rachel,
is there drama?
hold on.
Because there's always drama.
No, it's not drama.
Like on the unit,
Yeah.
you know?
Then there's this question I want to ask you.
Again.
Yeah, because when you're in your uniform and you have a male patient,
Yeah.
you can't tell me that you haven't seen a male patient who tried to, talk to you, flirt with you.
It's happened a couple of times.
So how do you handle that too?
Well, that's why we have.
Because I've had the experience. I was admitted in the hospital back in Nigeria.
You couldn't take your eyes off the nurse.
Yes. So how did
Are
you?
you a
How
patient?
did you?
I-
You're not a patient.
Patient zero.
Is it because
Are the kind of patient
the
wants to
uniform is too tight or what?
No.
Oh,
It's just the natural belief about it. Nurses are. If you see them in their uniform,
In
they're going to
uniforms,
look
yeah,
much
you
more
believe,
beautiful.
Okay, but you know what? Before you
I don't feel that way.
ladies say
No,
say
that's-
anything, before you say anything, I want to say something. Not because I have a sister who is a nurse, but I think I want to back them up with that. Like, I think it comes with their profession.
I don't think
have
it's
to be
actually the
you have to be
professional.
very
I
caring.
think people in uniform generally, like if you see a policewoman,
Yeah. That's just
yeah,
flex too?
I think it's
Yeah.
just women in uniforms
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
the
thing.
general
Yeah.
aura about
It's
them.
interesting because
That
we don't feel. At least I don't feel that way.
scrubs,
In your-
Another
in your
uniform,
scrubs?
another day.
In your
You know?
scrubs, yeah.
In the scrubs, I'm just like, oh yeah, let me wear the
Especially if you
scrubs,
work like
know?
3 days in a row and that's all I'm wearing. Scrubs,
Because
scrubs. I'm
when
like,
you're putting that on, we're doing a lot of things.
Right.
You're working with chest tube, working with mucus like people on the machine. You're working with urine. I mean, it's filthy. My scrubs, they have a separate bag. You know, when
Oh,
you
it's
get home
many
to work.
lies today.
But it's
Guy
also
who saw you was
it's
so
interesting that from an outside,
But I can see that,
perspective,
though,
you can
how it's
see
like
that on us
admirable.
and feel
Right.
like, oh yeah, it looks sexy on them. You know, and we've
Right.
gone past the days of just a gown and a
hats.
And that hat.
no, that's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
thing,
yeah,
and that hat.
There's no scrubs
so,
there. Every
Bobby would
unit.
have not done nothing if they're still dressing like that.
you know, to be more comfortable. But
Yeah.
but the experience that I've had, I had to report. I mean, it was terrible. I was a new nurse too. I think that's the worst one. I was in the worst of all the experience. I was a new nurse. This is the man that had no legs, no arms. I know, well, one arm.
Yeah, that's it.
So heroin addict, and he would use that one hand, and every time I go in the room and I'm doing stuff, he will cover up himself, and all you will see is movements. I'm like, what's going on down there? You know? And then he was like jerking off, you know, and I walked out immediately, and I told the child,
exactly that's what I'm saying.
I cannot go back in that room again. Because I'm like, it's annoying, it's disrespectful.
Right.
Yeah. And they had management go in there. So he's like, no, I was not doing anything. But then the next day he asked for me to come in and apologized. You know, but things like that, you know, it happens. And you just have to follow the proper protocol. You have a hierarchy, you know. Talk to the person that can, and they took me off the case of the patient, you know.
Okay.
All right. So I have one question. This is based on my experience. 3 years ago, I had an accident, so I broke my femur. So, but I was so lucky because what's it called? The surgeon. That was the last. My operation was the last operation he did before he retired. So it was the best. You know, that's what he said though. So I want to say something. So I was on my bed, and you know, I used to feel what's it called, like pain, and I asked, hey, look, is there anything you can do about this pain? The nurse was telling me, okay, no, they can't give me nothing. They can't give me, but why? So my question is that because of the time, do people really lie to get all those drugs, you know, to get them, you know, to satisfy
Get
their
them
own
high.
self? Right, exactly, you know.
Oh, yeah.
People do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Know about it. Yeah.
All right.
And most of the time, these people, that's why we have history, right? Most of the people that you know are drug seekers are the ones that they'll have a history of, you know, drug abuse, and they would want, although pain is subjective. I may be like this and I may be on my phone. Yeah, I'm having pain. You can't say I'm not having pain. How do you know?
How do you know?
You know, so pain is subjective. We will give you what we can for pain, but knowing your history will also make sure that we are not going overboard and drugging you, and you know, helping you to adapt to that lifestyle again.
Right.
You
Thank
know.
you so much. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you.
Yeah, a quick one before we round up. You guys spoke about mental health.
Yes.
That's a very big subject where we came from.
That's what
It's a lot of exposure now, but back in the days, nobody believes that. Who born you? Why should you be depressed? Is it that we did not give you food to eat, or we did not, or we are not paying your
we don't
school
even know
fees?
the meaning of depression.
Or there's no, lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn
All you
kìnnìkan
need
lọ
is
gbá bọ́ọ̀lù
necessary
ni.
need.
Yeah, like they believe that once once your basic needs are met, what is for, and any other aspect is village people. It's either village people or you can never be. Yeah. So, because I look back at a lot of histories I have with some friends and some people I knew, and looking back at it, like, man, this is what was going on with this person. But back then, so do you guys have any plans of like outreach to Nigeria, doing things back home, or you guys are just focused on the United States out here?
I personally do want to give back home. I don't know how. I haven't thought about how I'm
I'm a
going to
very
do
good
it.
consultant.
But I do want to give back home. I just feel like that's a part that we lack in Africa. people do not take mental health
Very
seriously.
underrated.
And people who actually need help, like you know how in Nigeria there's always this random madman walking in the street and whatever, like,
Naked,
Jacob Bejo, is that like, you know? But like, do you not understand that people are actually sick?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not even aye.
He's not either.
Sometimes aye is not doing.
You know, let me
not
add
here,
one
camera.
thing. Let me add one thing. Somebody asked me that what are you doing in school? And I said, oh, you know, mental health. And then he was not like, so let's just go study weary. Bro. I said no, it's Aron Polo.
I know.
And then if I will not say it, if your daddy's friend asks you, you say I wear a moloko. It just shows you ignorance.
Yeah.
You know what? This topic is very broad.
Yeah,
And
we
I
go
want
on.
to-
Oh my god.
Let's do it again. Because I have so many
That's
questions I want to
our
ask.
Yeah,
Right.
we are,
So-
you know what?
Absolutely.
Let me tell you, this is our first time of bringing ladies on our podcast.
Yeah.
So you're the first.
You're the
So,
pace setter.
We're bringing you back to talk about mental health. Yeah, we've been looking forward to that too. So we just want to be
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, viewers. Thank you to our great subscribers. It's been a wonderful episode. I hope you guys learned one or two things. Hope you guys had fun, because we try to bring you everything: fun, entertainment, and education at the same time. We thank you, honorable guests, and we hope that when we call on you, you guys would oblige and
Of course.
be able to come be on the show again.
Please.
Thank you once again. I enjoyed
Thanks for-
this session.
I did.
Thanks for having us.
loved
I
it.
enjoyed
Thank you so
it.
much.
Thank you for
I'd love
having
to
us.
ask you, but next time, right?
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We'll do
I
it next
appreciate it.
time.
All right. Thank you very much.